Alright guys, how you doing on this Tuesday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here live for my live review of this past Sunday's crossover brand pay-per-view event, AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door 2022. And again, it took place this past Sunday, June 26th, 2022, at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. We, of course, are going to go over everything that took place on the show. I'm sorry it took a couple days again for me to review this. Got home late Sunday. Well, I'm sorry, I was home watching the show Sunday, but I had to get up earlier for a dentist appointment for work yesterday. And I wasn't available to do the show yesterday. And also Sunday, I'm not going to lie, I was quite exhausted when I was watching the show. I did fall asleep during the last two matches. So when I got home from work today, I rewatched those last two matches before I did this review. And of course, as you can also tell, I don't have my normal, graphics that I set up myself. I just grabbed the match card graphics and the poster graphic that I found online. I just didn't have the time. I'm sorry, guys. I just did not have the time at all. Now, as far as Forbidden Door goes, as you guys realize also, I did not do any preview and predictions for Forbidden Door. Which right now I'm doing preview predictions for any AEW shows, and I did one for WrestleMania. Maybe I'll do them for SummerSlam. I don't know. But like I said, the only problem I had with Forbidden Door, and I think it was a cool idea to do a brand crossover event with AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, giving us a little treat here, I thought was a neat idea. Of course, just the only problem is I don't really watch much New Japan. I didn't know too many of the New Japan wrestlers. Now, there's a good amount I did know. Of course, I did know, Minoru Suzuki, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, who I will say, out of all the New Japan stars, I would say probably Will Ospreay has been my favorite that I've seen since the build for Forbidden Door. I said Okada. We did have a legend, Kasakori Shibata. I know his name was Shibata. I can't remember how to pronounce his first name. He was there. Jay White, of course, I enjoyed seeing. And of course, Hiroshi Tanahashi as well in that main event. But like I said, a lot of these guys I didn't really know. So of course, I feel like if I would have been more familiar with most of these New Japan guys, I would say this could have been a classic. Because I didn't know them as well, didn't quite hit classic for me. And mainly because of some of the botches. The injuries also, like the injury bug that's biting both AEW and WWE. Even after this show, we may have somebody who's trying to work through hurt, may have gotten even more injured than he was before. But through the injury bugs and everything else going on in wrestling right now, they still pulled off an excellent show that, again, I still really enjoyed. We got a big surprise debut. About time he arrives. We'll talk about him in a little bit. We did have an appearance of a legend. I can't remember how to pronounce his first name, but Shibata was his last name. Even the women's match on the show that I was a little concerned about was excellent. Main event was great. My favorite match of the night, though, definitely has to be that Ospreay and Cassidy match. That was still definitely my favorite match of the night. The first half matches weren't too bad, but I definitely think that second half... And the thing is, the past two pay-per-views especially, whenever I do my predictions, whenever I do predict out the card, I do kind of throw in, the cool-down matches. I feel like at times, AEW, especially the last two pay-per-views, have put the cool-down matches in the middle. Even if there weren't cooldowns, they're still good. The ones that, they were not as excited about. They they seem to have put the best like couple on last, and the crowd just goes ape shit over them whenever they happen. And I feel like it's been an interesting pace for sure. So I wonder if that's how they're going to continue to go forward with their pay-per-views. But we'll have to wait and see. We have Tyler in the live chats, and he says that Moxley is holding the world title, holding the world for someone else. I guess he's doing world title since he is the interim AEW World Champion currently. Well, spoiler alert on the main event, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. But let's talk about the show. I did not watch the buy-in, but apparently we had 4 buy-in matches. We had Chaos's Hiroshi Goto and Yoshihashi taking on the Factory's QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. Chaos won by pinfall. Goto pinning Aaron Solo. Lance Archer defeated Nick Comoroto. And then we also have a match with Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee, and Swerve Strickland, which even though I never got to watch the segment they had on Rampage, but even though they had Swerve eliminate Keith Lee from that Battle Royale for the winner to face Moxley, the fight for the interim world title match on this show, it's either going with that story where, like, Swerve is like slowly like shutting out the heel tactics, but they're still trying to keep him and Keith on the same page, which that's a fine story to go for now. I did though see there was a sequence in the match where Swerve was kind of like, did like a super kick on one person, and then he super kicks I think someone else, one of the other wrestlers, Japan guys, and they had to hang for the ropes to stop. It kind of reminded me of a certain someone who, when he does go all out, no pun intended, he can do some of this where it's like, he's like, this seems where he's like over here one second, doing this over here, and this here and there. Maybe they have another dream match, of course, but I thought that was awesome. But Swerve, in Our Glory, come away with the victory, as they should. And then, of course, the last buy-in match was the 8-man tag match. Max Caster, who is on his own right now because Anthony Bowens is hurt, teamed with the Gun Club, taking on Alex Coughlin, the DKC, Kevin Knight, and Yuya Uemura. The AEW team got the victory, and that was that. But I didn't really watch any of those matches, but I did see that little highlight clip from the Swerve in Our Glory, where Swerve Strickland just went like all over the place with one crazy big sequence. But yeah, that's the buy-in. Again, didn't watch it, so I can't really judge it. But the show opened up with a car crasher of a match with Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara from the Jericho Appreciation Society, and Minoru Suzuki teaming up to take on Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta from the Blackpool Combat Club, and what's the guy's name again? Shota Umino, who really, I've heard that Unimo is still kind of like a rookie. And I guess apparently there was, some continuity from what I've heard, that back in 2018 when Jericho was working New Japan, he did have like a run-in with Unimo, where he kind of like, bullied him a little bit. So I guess, this kind of like came, full circle. You have Eddie Kingston, who is, the main, reason why Jericho's where he is right now. You have Wheeler Yuta, who's probably like the biggest breakout star this year. Surprise, big time for sure. Even has an ROH championship with him. And then you got, what's the guy's name again? It is Shota Umino. Umino as well, who also has a history with Jericho, and where he takes on Jericho and his buddy Sammy Guevara, and of course Minoru Suzuki, who of course just get like a mixture of both AEW and New Japan teaming up, which I thought was an excellent combo and a great match as well. Again, like Eddie Kingston always really shines, especially on his when it's a pay-per-view in a big match situation. Sammy looked good, like Sammy, kind of settling back in this heel role, just going with the flow, he's getting booed now, so obviously, like Jericho, who reads the room really well, Sammy just went with the flow and turned heel, and got back with Jericho. And Minoru Suzuki, who I've, gotten to know somewhat with some of the matches he's had with Samoa Joe, Jon Moxley, that buy-in match with Bryan Danielson, which I did a lot of reactions to, was a hard-hitting technical classic, I thought. This was some really good stuff. The heels do win, Jericho, and then win. I believe they hit, it was like a juice. I think Sammy Guevara used like a bat. I think it is on one of them, and Jericho I think hit the juice effect, I believe. And the heels come away with the victory, which I think was the right way to go. And they're probably going to give the bigger win at this tomorrow night for Blood and Guts to Eddie Kingston's team. I think it's going to get the win there tomorrow. So this was a right way to do it. But yeah, very, very strong opener. A good car crash of an opener for sure. Between in this 6-man tag match. The next match we had was a triple threat winner take all match. FTR, United Empires, Jeff Cobb and Great Okan, and Roppongi Vice's Trent Beretta and Ricky Romero in a triple threat match. Winner takes all for both the ROH World Tag Titles and the IWGP World Tag Titles as well. This match was great. What threw it off, though, was the injury to Dax Harwood. And like I said, that's another reason why I think, besides the fact that I don't know some of these guys too well. Well, Jeff Cobb, I do remember him because he had a match against Jon Moxley when Moxley was being built up to face Jericho for the world title 2 years ago before he won it at Revolution. But I remember him. But of course, there Will Ospreay's cronies also as well. But the two things that threw this match off, first off, Dax Harwood seemed to have hurt his shoulder during the match, at the beginning of the match. He got taken out but came back and finished the match. And then there was also a weird spot where I think someone from Roppongi Vice did have Dax Harwood pinned. And the referee went, 1, 2, and then kicked out. So it was a really weird looking count. It looked like maybe Dax may have gotten his shoulder off the mat a little bit, which is why he restarted the count, but it was a little strange. But other than that, it was still a very, very good match with good mixtures of styles in there as well. Again, just, the thing with Harwood getting taken out for a bit and then that weird little botch thing kind of hurt the match a little bit. But I still thought it was an excellent match. And, of course, an excellent moment as well with FTR getting the victory. So they're now both the Ring of Honor and IWGP World Tag Team Champions. I don't think they're the AAA World Tag Champions anymore. But with that being said, we could very well be seeing them get ready for a trilogy. The third match on pay-per-view, well, only the second pay-per-view match, was the third match in AEW between the Young Bucks and FTR at All Out. And they could win the AEW World Tag Titles, which I think is necessary. FTR, for crying out loud, is probably the most over tag team in the world right now. They are having probably the best year of their career. Before this, their best year for sure was definitely in 2016 as a revival in NXT. I think this year easily tops that off with the classics of matches that they're having for sure. So yeah, again, what made up for the botch and the Harwood injury, which thank goodness he should hopefully be okay. We don't need more injuries. But again, just the moment of FTR, winning both titles is definitely something huge, as they've been different world tag champions this year for sure, which I thought was very cool. But so yeah, we had that match happen as well. Backstage though, we have a segment with Juice Robinson and Jay White. Robinson says he's the real champion, and the match later is just a glorified number one contenders match between Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. White said he'll retain the title, and that is too sweet when he faces off in the Fatal 4-Way later on. Speaking of Fatal 4-Ways, we had this match, this Fatal 4-Way, to crown the first ever AEW All Atlantic Champion. It was originally supposed to be Malachi Black, Pac, Miro, and Hiroshi Ishii, I believe his name was. He wrestled Adam Cole, I believe, on Rampage in Pittsburgh a couple months ago for a spot for the Owen Hart match. He was supposed to be in this match, but I guess he got hurt and he got replaced by Clark Connors, who, yes, that name really does not stand out at all, but I think he showed in this match that he is someone you don't want to overlook. Which he looked great. Malachi Black looked great. Miro, for crying out loud, was a freaking monster in this match. They had to do a lot to take him down, it felt like. And I thought he was going to win at one point, too. He did have Pac, and he basically had, he got Malachi Black out of the way. He got Pac, right, in the palm of his hands. It looked like he was going to put this one away. But, no, there was some more interference and back and forth at the end. And to my surprise, which I'm not upset at all about this, he was just one of the ones that I didn't expect Clark Connors to win. And I also did not expect Pac to win. I thought it was going to be Malachi Black because, again, I really think it's with the work he's done putting together the House of Black and everything, it's time to put a singles title on Malachi Black. But I thought it was going to be him, or I thought it was going to be Miro. Because, yes, Miro's a former TNT champion. He just came back. He's a babyface now, it seems to be. And with how much momentum he has, you thought they may have, rolled with it, had him win the title. But instead, they went with the longer-term veteran AEW, Pac. And I am totally cool with that. Again, Pac, obviously, one of the most underutilized superstars for sure when he was in WWE. Didn't get respected at all, especially when his Cruiserweight Championship reign ended, and whatnot. And he's put on some great matches. Don't forget his series of matches he had in 2019 and early 2020 with Kenny Omega. The Iron Man match he had with him, phenomenally great. Probably, again, one of the best matches of that year for sure. This man can do so many things that everybody forgets about, and I am all for giving him this title. I mean, he has his history with Malachi Black. They could have a feud with that. He could easily have a match with, he did have a couple matches last year with Andrade El Idolo. You could revisit that feud again. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Zack Sabre Jr. or him and Pac, or, I mean, if you want to use Americans, what about, Bryan Danielson? We do have, of course, the new name that I don't want to spoil quite yet. Him and Orange, that's right. We could revisit him and Orange Cassidy again as well. But, of course, I believe they're trying to keep it for, other people, outside the United States, have the match with them. They could go with him and Buddy Matthews, of course, as well. Heck, Pac and Jay White, that'd be phenomenal as well. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see the route they go with Pac as the first ever All Atlantic champion. Again, he definitely deserves it for sure. And an excellent match as well. Like I said, it was a little, odd because, Clark Connors, not as well known. But I think he really stepped up and showed, hey, still take me serious, even though I wasn't, supposed to be in this match at first. So I definitely say don't knock him for sure. So we had that match. Tomohiro Ishii was supposed to be in the match, but Clark Connors replaced him. Then we had this match that changed several times. So I think originally it was supposed to be a 5-on-5 match or something like that. I think we were supposed to get Red Dragons, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish in there as well, but both of them are hurt. And then I think one of the members of the Young Bucks team, or one of the members of one of these teams, I can't remember which one it was, got sick with a fever. So it then became a trios tag match with the Bullet Club's Young Bucks and Hikuleo versus Dudes with Attitude. It was Sting, Darby Allin, and Shingo Takagi. And whoever the other person was for the baby faces, they were the ones that got sick. The other person for Bullet Club's team, they were just came out at ringside. I still thought this was a fun match. Sting, though, for crying out loud, was the star of this match. The guy, even before the match started, his music came on, the lights went out. You thought maybe it was going to be just, a ruse. He wasn't going to come out. Maybe somebody attacked him backstage. Lights came back on, though. There's a freaking dive off the top of the stage. Off the top of the stage setup. And he even he no-sold a double super kick in this match. Did a splash. He did this man is 63 years old. 63 years old, and 7 years ago he hurt his back badly and had to end his career at the time from a buckle bomb. And this man is 63 years old and doing crazy stuff like diving off of balconies and everything. How on earth is he doing that? They brought him in, we were concerned at first, about for the health of him, but it's you wouldn't have even known this guy had to end his career 7 years ago because of a bad bump on a buckle bomb. I thought that was just absolutely phenomenal. And I thought he was the star of this match. I really thought he was the one who stood out the most in this match. Darby did his stuff. Everybody else was awesome in there. Young Bucks, had some moments where they were going to pull it off, but nope, it was the babyfaces that got the victory. Which, of course, definitely, was a nice move there. They did. I don't think they pinned the Bucks. I think what kind of, threw me off, from this match a little bit, because it changed how many times because of the injuries and whatnot. But it was still a nice, cool down match, but it was fun. And like I said, Sting stole the show in this match for sure. After this, we also have Jericho meeting with Umino, who was one of his opponents in his match at the beginning of the show. He kind of, like he said, he had earned his respect, but then, after that, he then threw a fireball in his face, because he's a wizard, as he keeps saying. Alright, here is the next match, the only crossover brand match, but it was the women's world title match with Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. I do remember when I kind of briefly talked about this match in my, review from Dynamite this past week of my combo of review / predictions. I was really torn as to who I thought was going to win this match. And I was also wondering if because I still think Toni Storm is someone who should be dethroning Thunder Rosa. But I also thought Toni, she still just got here, I don't know if they're quite ready yet to put the title on her or whatnot. But then there's Thunder Rosa, who has been, in some topics of discussion lately. She for recently she did complain about her frustrations with, she was not really being on TV much as the women's champion. There was that backstage, thing with her and Marina Shafir. She was sandbagging her or whatever the heck it was. And of course, people were kind of giving her a little heat because, she was starting to, say stuff about, I'm not getting enough TV time as champion, which she does have a good gripe about, and it looks like Toni didn't take it into consideration. But I was torn who's going to win this match, because I didn't think Thunder Rosa should drop the title yet, but I also thought Toni Storm should be saved for someone to dethrone Thunder Rosa. But didn't matter. Still a fantastic match. That hip attack maneuver, though, that Toni Storm does on people is really, vicious. Like the one she hit on Britt recently when she beat Britt clean was probably the one that I thought first literally knocked out Britt. I really thought it did with that vicious hip attack. But no, it was stiff. It was very hard hitting. These two have excellent chemistry. I'm pretty sure we could get a rematch between them. I know they did great, but I know they can do even bigger in like a rematch or whatnot. But Thunder Rosa does get the victory. Afterwards, does show a sign of respect to Toni Storm. So Thunder Rosa retains. So who's going to dethrone Thunder Rosa? I don't know. I don't know if they'll go eventually with like Athena or even maybe someone like Ruby Soho maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Thunder retains. I'm fine with that. Toni will get her spot at the top one day. You know she will. Like, there's no way, unless barring any unforeseen business, there's no way I can't see Tony Khan never putting the belt on Thunder Rosa. Put on Thunder Rosa. There's no way I can never see Tony Khan not putting the belt on Toni Storm. Toni Storm is just, again, she's 26 years old. You know, she's too big of a star to not even be a champion with her time in AEW. But I thought they put on an excellent match. All right, let me get to what was probably not my favorite moment, but definitely my favorite match of this show. Will Ospreay taking on Orange Cassidy. And it was for the IWGP United States Championship, but I was still confused with how Juice Robinson was the champion, so I'm not sure what the story behind that is. Oh boy. So, originally, this was supposed to be Will Ospreay and Andrade El Idolo, but then there were some issues with AAA and CLO, or whatever it was, and Andrade was not able to wrestle on the show. So instead, they gave it to Orange Cassidy. And my God, with this match just... When this match ended, it's just like, you can easily put this as an easy match of the year candidate. This was also, I'd say, one of those matches that, you know, I've had some matches where I watched them in the past, and they're that good that I'm like, man, if I wanted to show a casual viewer, like my fiance, a match to make them a wrestling fan, this would definitely be one of them. This one had a mixture of everything, from storytelling to character development to just crazy spots, comedy moments. It was just awesome. My favorite part probably was that the spot where Ospreay, I think it was like 2 moonsaults, and I think Cassidy missed them all, and he hit like 2 more like quick high fly maneuvers, and like how he stayed like in sync with Cassidy, who literally just avoided him for most of those spots, was beyond my belief. It was just an awesome match. Like it was, again, it was a classic. It was a match of the year contender as I expected. Definitely Orange Cassidy's best match. He's had definitely some good ones for sure, but definitely his best one. Like I said, Will Ospreay, between this match and the one-on-one match he had with Dax Harwood recently, easily the one that stood out to me most in this build for Forbidden Door. Like, he's one person that I'm like, okay, can he stick around for a little longer? Because I would love to see Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson. I would love this once Danielson's healthy. Will Ospreay and Adam Cole, baby. Will Ospreay and Pac. Will Ospreay and Johnny Gargano, who hopefully will be coming in soon. Will Ospreay and Pac, if I didn't say it before. Will Ospreay, Sammy Guevara. Heck, if I trusted WWE enough, I'm not sure if it happened while he was in Japan. Easily would have loved to have seen Will Ospreay and AJ Styles. Will Ospreay and Johnny Elite, John Morrison, and whatnot. Man, there's just so many guys. And of course, the winner of the next match, so much good shit from Will Ospreay. Like someone that just really, grabbed my attention. Like, the last time I had, like a no-name really grab my attention really that much was definitely Darby Allin. When I first saw him wrestle Cody Rhodes at, I think it was Fyter Fest in 2019. Will Ospreay easily, in this time, became one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, he can go with anyone. After the match, though, we did have United Kingdom come down, United Empire come down and try to beat down Orange Cassidy. Best Friends and Roppongi Vice came down, but they overpowered them. But then we got Shibata, whatever the heck his first name is pronounced, come down and kind of scared him off, have a moment where he stared down at Orange Cassidy and wore the shades. Apparently, from what I hear, Shibata a year ago took a headbutt and it cracked his skull, and not just did it only end his career, but also ended his life. So giving him a spotlight, I thought was pretty cool to have that in there as well, and have that like kind of moment with Orange Cassidy, kind of have like the character moment basically or whatnot, which I thought was cool. He probably can't wrestle yet, maybe, I don't know, but it was awesome. It was still awesome. Again, this was definitely my match of the night. My moment of the night, though, came from this match. So originally, it was supposed to be Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson, though, is injured right now. I think he has a concussion. He is not going to be able to wrestle he was not going to be able to wrestle at Blood and Guts, so he picked a replacement that will be joining the Blackpool Combat Club and is just as good of a technical wrestler as he is. Who is that going to be? Now, there were two people that the world was speculating about. One who wasn't at the end was Johnny Gargano, which I said on Wednesday. I don't know if it should be Johnny because Danielson is still kind of back and forth. Like the whole dynamic of the Blackpool Combat Club is still confusing to me. Like I don't know if they're faces, I don't know if they're heels, I don't know what they are. So I still feel Johnny should come into AEW as a purebred babyface. So that's why I veered away from him. He was, though, in Chicago signing autographs, but then he did fly back home. He posted the photos, which immediately gave me Hardy Boys vibes for before WrestleMania 33, when they said they were heading back home, when in reality they were on the bus waiting to return at WrestleMania 33. So there was one other name that I thought of course, that a lot of people thought of, and sure enough, it was him, who has like a symphony type theme song. It sure enough was Claudio Castinoli, who I find it ironic that last year, before Daniel Bryan left WWE, the person that he put over on his way out, besides of course when he lost to Roman Reigns in that winner, if he loses he must leave SmackDown match, the person, though, he put over before he left, besides Roman, was definitely Cesaro, which was leading to Cesaro's brief singles push. He had that stellar WrestleMania match with that freaking UFO in there as well. Oh gosh, I wanted him to do that so bad in this match, but obviously, some things they hold back on. There's a few things he didn't do, which I'm okay with them holding back on that. But he replaces Bryan Danielson. He is now a member of the Blackpool Combat Club. And I remember back when he departed a couple months ago from WWE, saying that he would be a great fit in that stable. Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and Claudio Castinoli. Of course, we have Wheeler Yuta in there now. Oh God, that's like at least 3 world champion caliber wrestlers in a awesome stable. That's already awesome already. This was awesome. Castinoli came out to a rock star pop, and he just embraced it. It's probably the next best debut in AEW to CM Punk. And why is that? Because I have said for years and years and years, in my nearly 9 years as a wrestling fan, within the past decade, the most underutilized wrestler for sure is no one other than Claudio Castinoli. My goodness, WWE made it so it was cardinal sin not only to even give him a singles title, but to even give him an opportunity for a singles title. He won the US title when he first came in, and then that was it for singles titles. Everything else was tag titles. He was limited to being a tag team specialist. But yet, when you gave him the chance to shine as a single star, he had stellar matches against the likes of John Cena for US Open Challenge, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. He had the classics after classics. Don't forget his match with Sami Zayn at NXT Arrival. Don't forget about how great that was. Like, this man has all the tools to be a world champion. And Vince just said, well, he's Swiss. And he wouldn't push him. He would not push him, and he would not give him a singles spotlight. It's one thing to, just limit you to the mid-card, to get like a mid-card title reign, like whatever. But they couldn't even give Cesaro a mid-card title reign after all the momentum he got, especially in 2014, whenever he won the Andre the Giant and he was put with Paul Heyman. But of course, the only reason why he was put with Paul Heyman was because they needed a reason to keep Paul Heyman on TV until The Undertaker came back. So my goodness, why would you not want to see a guy? And here's something else I gotta say. I want to make a video on this. No offense to those who think this, but there are people who just think it's dumb that AEW just grabs nothing but XWE talent. Well, let me tell you something. Why does that not piss me off? It's because they're grabbing the talent from WWE who were not given the opportunity, not given the respect, and not allowing to be who they are to succeed. Vince didn't want Cesaro to be a big star. He didn't want Cesaro to succeed and outdo everybody else. He did not want Cesaro to be the top guy. So why wouldn't I not be excited about, Cesaro or Claudio coming to a company where he gets the creative freedom, or like a Miro, or, a Keith Lee, a Swerve Strickland, or John Moxley, and so many others. Why would I not be okay with XWE guys being grabbed by AEW just for them to get actually booked properly and treated the way they should be treated? Just gotta say it out there. But he had an awesome match, of course, with Zack Sabre Jr. He more so stuck with the uppercuts. He did the thing where he tossed him up in the air and uppercut him. Did the uppercut express. He did not, though, do the UFO. I was hoping he would have done that. I was hoping also he never did that corkscrew where he jumped springboard off the rope into an elbow. He did not do that. I'm pretty sure there are some things he's saving for. Of course, I felt that he did sell a shoulder injury given from Zack Sabre Jr. a lot. But, I feel like they more so stuck with, the power and the strength of him in this match. The more, high-flying quickness maneuvers, those will come. That UFO will come. I'm pretty sure he will do it more often, of course, once he, lets loose and does that. But he gets the victory, which we thought first he was going to squash Zack Sabre Jr. because he hit his finisher as soon as the bell rang. Well, as soon as the bell rang, he just flew and elbowed Sabre into the corner, and then of course he hit his finisher, which used to be called the Gotch Neutralizer. I can't remember what they're calling it now, but dang, oh man, did he just it was just awesome. I am so excited to see this guy here. And honestly, again, I even said this when Keith Lee debuted. A world title feud someday, definitely gotta do Keith Lee and Claudio Castinoli. That is going to be a phenomenal feud. And of course, credit to Zack Sabre Jr. He was awesome. I still would like to see him fight Danielson. Again, I thought he looked great here. Again, I do remember from when he wrestled in the Cruiserweight Classic in 2016. So I definitely hope that we see a little more of him. And so hopefully we will at some point get the match with him and Bryan Danielson. But yes, it just felt so good to see Claudio Castinoli, again, who will also be in the Blood and Guts match tomorrow night. And of course, he's a dream opponent for so many other people. And again, too, he could be a great wrestler for Pac. I do also kind of hope while he's here, I've always wanted to see an Iron Man match with him and Bryan Danielson. They could do that here. That could, hey, with Claudio, which I hope he does. I mean, he's 41, so, obviously, he probably doesn't have as much time as we think to wrestle. When Claudio wins the world title, I think a world title match should definitely be him and Bryan in a 60-minute Iron Man match. That's got to happen. That would be excellent. But yeah, we see, Claudio and Sammy Guevara. Claudio and Swerve Strickland. Claudio and Pac for the All Atlantic Championship. He's Swiss. He can fight for that title as well. Have him and Malachi Black go at. Remember whenever I think Aleister Black's first singles match in WWE, which I think was that Extreme Rules 2019. That was a sleeper hit, underrated match. I remember. You can do that again. I don't know if they ever did him and Miro. They could do that. Him and Kenny for sure. The door's wide open. Like Claudio said in his interview with at the post-show interview, he's like a kid in a candy store. He wants to, fight everyone. There's nobody he doesn't want to fight. Heck, him and Will Ospreay also. Give me him and Will Ospreay. And even him and Andrade as well. The sky is the limit. And also, I hope he's on episode Talk is Jericho. I really, really want to hear an interview with Claudio Castinoli. Especially if he has any thoughts on how WWE treated him. Especially also, again, with Vince coming out on the Stone Cold podcast saying that he thinks he's Swiss and something's missing. Nothing was missing, Vince. You just didn't want to push it because he wasn't your property. So glad to see him here. And he had an excellent match with Zack Sabre Jr. Then we had this fatal four-way match between Jay White, Adam Cole, Hangman Adam Page, and Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I thought it was neat that it did the fatal four-way. The only two problems I had with this match was, again, first off, most of it was treated kind of more so like a tag match. With Hangman and Okada teaming up, and of course, Jay White and Adam Cole, they're buddies, they teamed up. And it kind of felt more of like a tag team match for a bit, which hurt my interest a little bit. The other problem, though, was Adam Cole's been working hurt lately. I think he has like a shoulder injury, but I think one of Okada's, like, either his high-flying double drop kick, or maybe even his Rainmaker, I think it was, kind of gave Cole a concussion. So Okada hit him with something like, it didn't look to be a finisher. But then Jay White came in and pushed, I think, Okada out of the way. And he hit, and he scored the pinfall by just abruptly pinning Adam Cole, which didn't look too convincing. I think Adam Cole may need to take some time off. Again, I think his shoulder injury hurt is a labrum injury, which is not good. And if he's got a concussion, take it easy for a bit. Because if he continues to work through hurt, he's just gonna become injury prone, and that's gonna hurt him for sure. Like I said, though, I wish we didn't get too much. I thought we had a little too much tag team work in this match. I thought still a great match. Jay White retains, but like I said, I think they could have toned down on the tag team maneuvers and whatnot. And then finally, the last match. For the AEW Interim World Championship, Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Awesome match. I like, also a lot of people say this too, Moxley kind of more so played heel in this match. He was trash-talking Tanahashi, saying that he was the ace. Of course, he wrestled at least like half of the match with a busted open head. It looks like he got it from whenever they were trying to sell it from, I think he took a couple like stomps to the head, or as Brian would say, I'm gonna kick your face in. And Moxley got his face kicked in. But it was awesome. Moxley looked like a badass. Tanahashi looked great. And Moxley wins after he basically just weaseled down Tanahashi with the Bulldog choke, and then hits the Paradigm Shift. But I think they're calling it now the I forgot what they're calling it now. But he gets the victory, and he's the interim AEW World Champion, and of course is the first two-time World Champion. Now, I know I said I wasn't feeling Moxley being champion at first a couple of days ago. I like Moxley, but it's just like, I felt like, he didn't need the world title right now, but if he's going to be the one to they're going to have him fight Punk when Punk comes back from his injury, cool. That'd be an excellent match. Or he does have a history with somebody else. That his paradigm shift was banned for their match, but of course when that person cheated, Moxley cheated as well, and the referee wasn't looking, hit it on him. So that could lead to a reason for MJF to return. He takes the interim world title from Moxley, and him and Punk face off one last time at All Out for the undisputed world title. Could be awesome. I like the idea. We'll have to wait and see. But an awesome match for sure. And as always I say too, having, the blood added in there definitely makes it look even better because it looks more realism in it. But then afterwards, we did have, Moxley go to show Tanahashi a sign of respect. But then Jericho Appreciation Society, Eddie Kingston's team, they all started coming down and brawling, started hyping up Blood and Guts. And of course, the last one to come out and get his own entrance was Claudio Castinoli, who went in there and just tore it up. And that's how the show ended. So like I said, I did enjoy Forbidden Door. I gave the show an A, because I thought it was just an awesome, fun show. Nice treat. Some very, amazing matches. Again, definitely Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay is my favorite. The debut of Claudio Castinoli. Sting, going ape shit in this match despite being 63 years old. Pac winning the world title. Shibata coming out, of course, was a nice appearance as well. Just, the star power in the moments. I think, again, like I said, what hurt the show to me, again, besides the fact that I don't really know all these New Japan guys. But again, the injuries, some of the botches. But I think what made up for the botches also was the moments. And because of that, I still gave the show an A. And that's going to do it. I'm going to check out here now, guys. Saw a couple comments in the live chat, but nothing really new. But I gave Forbidden Door an A. And I'll be live in the next couple of days, of course, for Blood and Guts. Maybe more stuff coming to the channel as well. I'm going to definitely watch some Seinfeld tonight before I go to bed. Probably not review any new episodes tonight, but, the next couple of days, it's going to keep things rolling and just, try not more content out, as always. So, guys, what are your thoughts on AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door show? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. What was your match of the night? Again, my match of the night was definitely Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. Be sure, guys, as always, to slap a like on the video, subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAir93. I will do a review of Money in the Bank. I may just do a brief video talking about who I think will win the ladder matches. I can't promise that, but I'm not going to do any full predictions for Money in the Bank. I still don't really care too much for WWE right now, of course, but we'll see. We'll see as time will tell. So, guys, once again, A for Forbidden Door. I'll check it out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night, and peace out, everybody.